Taewon Park stood at the viewing window of Earth's Horizon Deep Space Research Station, his dark eyes reflecting the distant stars. 3 years stationed in this remote corner of space, and each day felt the same as the last. Analyzing space dust and recording sensor readings wasn't exactly the adventure he'd imagined when he signed up as the station's xenobiologist. The quiet beeping started so subtly that Taewon almost missed it. A small red light flashed on his console, growing more insistent with each pulse. "Unidentified craft detected in Sector 7, announced the station's AI system in its calm, measured voice. "Severe structural damage detected. Faint life signs present." Taewon's heart raced as he pulled up the scanner images. The object was small, barely larger than a shuttle, with an unusual crystalline structure unlike any human design. Most importantly, it was drifting, tumbling slowly through space with clear signs of damage to its hull. "Alert Commander Jean," Taewon said, already moving toward the emergency response bay. "Possible first contact scenario. Request permission to dispatch rescue team." Commander Jean appeared on the communication screen, her expression stern. "Park, protocol clearly states all unknown vessels must be quarantined and remotely scanned before any contact." "With respect, Commander, the life signs are fading," Taewon replied, already pulling on his spacesuit. "If there's someone alive in there, they won't survive a standard quarantine procedure." The commander's frown deepened. "This isn't a research decision, Park. It's a security matter." "It's a rescue mission," Taewon insisted. "I'll take full responsibility." After a tense moment, the commander nodded. "Rescue team authorized. But standard containment protocols apply once you return. Nothing comes aboard this station without proper screening." The rescue shuttle launched within minutes, with Taewon and 2 security officers aboard. As they approached the damaged vessel, Taewon couldn't contain his excitement. The craft was unlike anything humans had ever built, semi-transparent in sections with an internal structure that seemed to pulse with faint blue light. "Scan complete," said Officer Min. "Atmosphere inside is nitrogen-heavy but contains unknown gases." "One life form detected, status critical." Taewon nodded. "Let's dock and get in there." Their shuttle extended a temporary airlock tube to the damaged craft. As pressure equalized, Taewon felt a strange tingling at the base of his skull, a sensation he'd never experienced before. The inner door opened, and they entered the alien vessel. The interior was a single chamber with curved walls that seemed to shimmer with faint patterns of light. Control surfaces had no buttons or screens, just smooth surfaces with occasional depressions. In the center lay the pilot. Taewon stopped breathing for a moment. And somehow he immediately thought of the being as female. Was humanoid but clearly not human. Her skin had a pale blue luminescence, with delicate gill-like structures pulsing weakly along her neck. Her face was striking, with large, almond-shaped eyes currently closed, a small nose, and lips tinged with silvery blue. 4-fingered hands lay limply at her sides. "Life signs critical but stable," Officer Min reported, scanning with a medical device. "Unknown physiology. How do we proceed?" Before Taewon could answer, the alien's eyes opened. They were entirely silver with no visible pupils, yet somehow Taewon felt her gaze locked directly onto him. The tingling sensation in his mind intensified. "Help, please, asterisk." The voice was inside his head, gentle, feminine, and distinctly non-human. "She's communicating telepathically," Taewon gasped. "I can hear her." The security officers exchanged skeptical glances. "I don't hear anything," said Officer Min. Taewon moved closer, kneeling beside the alien. "We're here to help you. Can you understand me?" "Yes." "Thank you." "My ship, damaged, asterisk." The mental voice was growing weaker. "Cannot breathe your air for long." "We need to get her to our station immediately," Taewon said, already assessing how to move her. "She's dying." The journey back to the station was tense. The alien drifted in and out of consciousness, her breathing growing more labored. Each time her silver eyes found Taewon's, he felt that strange mental connection. Commander Jean met them at the airlock, her expression a mixture of wonder and concern. Straight to quarantine, she ordered. Full containment protocols. She needs medical attention first, Taewon argued. Our atmosphere is toxic to her system. That's precisely why she needs quarantine, the commander countered. The alien's body suddenly convulsed, her gill structures flaring desperately. Cannot breathe, asterisk. We don't have time. Taewon shouted. Her respiratory system is failing. I need to get her to the lab and create an atmospheric chamber immediately. After a moment of hesitation, the commander nodded. Do it. But this is on your head, Park. Working with frantic precision, Taewon converted a research chamber in his lab into a makeshift life support pod. He adjusted the atmospheric mix based on scans from the alien's vessel, adding more nitrogen and reducing oxygen levels. The alien's convulsions gradually subsided as the atmosphere changed. Thank you, asterisk, came the weak mental voice. You saved me. I'm Taewon Park, he said, placing his hand against the chamber glass. Can you tell me your name? The alien's four-fingered hand rose to mirror his, separated only by the transparent barrier. Asterisk, I am Nari of the Sabiol people. My ship was damaged during a research mission, asterisk. Sabiol? Taewon repeated, fascinated. We've never encountered your species before. We have observed humans, asterisk, Nari replied, her silver eyes blinking slowly. Asterisk, from a distance. Your species was deemed unpredictable. Too volatile for contact, asterisk. Taewon couldn't help but smile. Yet here we are. Commander Haejin entered the lab, eyeing the alien with caution. Is it speaking to you again? Taewon corrected. Her name is Nari. She's a researcher like me. I want a full report on everything she tells you, the commander ordered. And remember your duty to this station and to Earth. This isn't just a scientific discovery, it's a potential first contact scenario with unknown consequences. After the commander left, Taewon turned back to Nari. I'll help you recover and repair your ship. Nari's luminescence flickered, a pattern Taewon would later learn was her people's version of a smile. Asterisk, perhaps this accident was fortunate after all. My people have watched humans for centuries, but none of us have ever truly known one, asterisk. Over the next few days, Taewon rarely left the lab. He monitored Nari's condition, developed better atmospheric regulators for her chamber, and learned more about her species. The Sabiol were a spacefaring civilization from a distant star system, advanced in both technology and cultural development. Through their growing telepathic connection, Nari shared images of her homeworld, a planet with vast oceans and thin, spire-like continents reaching toward purple skies. In return, Taewon showed her Earth's diverse landscapes and cultures. Why were you alone in that small ship? Taewon asked one evening as he adjusted her atmospheric mixture. I study emerging civilizations, asterisk, Nari explained. Asterisk, your Earth was my assignment, to observe from a distance. Direct contact was forbidden, asterisk. Taewon raised an eyebrow. So you're breaking your people's rules by talking to me? Nari's mental voice carried what felt like amusement. Asterisk, circumstances changed when my ship was damaged. Sometimes the most important discoveries come from broken rules, asterisk. As her strength returned, Taewon became increasingly aware of a problem. Station Command had already contacted Earth about their discovery. Soon, government officials would arrive, likely to take Nari into custody for further study. I won't let them treat you like a specimen, Taewon promised, though he wasn't sure how he could prevent it. Nari's four-fingered hand pressed against the glass of her chamber. Asterisk, you have already done more than anyone of my kind expected from a human. You saw me as a person, not an alien. That alone changes everything, asterisk. Taewon placed his hand against hers, separated by the thin barrier. For just a moment, the telepathic connection between them deepened, and he felt something new, a warmth and complexity of emotion that transcended language. In that silent exchange, everything changed. What had begun as a rescue was becoming something neither human science nor Sabiol wisdom had prepared them for. Taewon worked through the night, his fingers dancing across holographic displays as he adjusted settings on Nari's atmospheric chamber. 2 weeks had passed since the rescue, and the Sabiol visitor had regained much of her strength, but she remained confined to the specialized environment. If I can create a portable breathing apparatus, Taewon explained, sketching designs on a tablet, you might be able to move around the station. Nari watched him with her silver eyes. Your dedication exceeds normal research protocols, her thoughts touched his mind. Taewon smiled. Maybe I'm just tired of talking to you through glass. The telepathic connection they shared had strengthened daily. At first, Nari could only transmit simple thoughts and emotions, but now their mental conversations flowed almost as naturally as spoken words. Taewon still couldn't send his thoughts to her, the connection worked in only one direction, but he had grown accustomed to her gentle presence in his mind. The lab door slid open as Commander Haejin entered. Her eyes narrowed at the sight of Taewon's messy workstation, covered with half-assembled devices and diagrams. Dr. Park, may I remind you that your assignment is to study the alien, not befriend it? Taewon corrected automatically. And understanding Nari's biology is part of my research. The commander crossed her arms. 3 government officials arrive tomorrow. They expect comprehensive reports on the aliens, on Nari's physiology, technology, and homeworld. Not a breathing mask so she can take a station tour. After the commander left, Taewon sighed and turned back to his work. Your leader fears me, Nari observed. She fears what she doesn't understand, Taewon replied. Most humans do. The Sabiol are similar in that regard, Nari admitted. We observe many species but rarely engage with them. Your emotional nature particularly concerns my people, Taewon looked up. Our emotions? What's wrong with emotions? Nari's blue luminescence flickered in what he now recognized as amusement. Nothing is wrong with them. But they make you unpredictable. The Sabiol value order and certainty, Yet you seem comfortable with my unpredictable human nature, Taewon said, returning to his work on the breathing apparatus. Perhaps I am becoming unpredictable too, came the thoughtful reply. 3 days later, after many adjustments and careful testing, the breathing device was ready. It was a delicate collar that wrapped around Nari's neck, covering her gill structures with a semi-transparent membrane. Small tanks on either side provided her custom atmospheric mixture. Ready to try it? Taewon asked, standing by the chamber controls. Nari nodded, her silver eyes bright with anticipation. Slowly, Taewon adjusted the chamber atmosphere until it matched the station's normal environment. Then he opened the door. Nari hesitated briefly before stepping out, her four-fingered hand instinctively reaching for support. Taewon offered his arm. The moment her fingers touched his skin, the telepathic connection between them surged. Images and sensations flooded his mind, the purple skies of her homeworld, the feel of ocean currents against gill membranes, the musical language of her people. Wow, Taewon gasped, steadying himself. That was... I apologize. Nari withdrew her hand quickly. Direct contact enhances telepathic transfer. I should have warned you, No, it's fine, Taewon assured her, fascinated rather than alarmed. It was beautiful. Is that how your people normally communicate? Nari took a few experimental steps, adjusting to the station's gravity. Yes. Words are secondary to us. Touch telepathy is our primary language, sharing memories, knowledge, emotions directly, That's incredible, Taewon said, watching her explore his lab with careful movements. Her blue luminescent skin seemed to pulse with excitement. Later that day, Taewon gave Nari a tour of the quieter sections of the station, avoiding the busier areas where her presence might cause too much attention. The government officials who had arrived were busy reviewing his research data, giving them a brief window of freedom. They paused at the main observation deck, a vast window looking out into the star-filled void. Earth was visible as a distant blue dot. That's my home, Taewon said, pointing. Nari studied the planet thoughtfully. It is beautiful. My world has more water and less land, but similar blue tones, asterisk. How far away is your homeworld? He asked. By your measurements, about 80 light years. We have faster than light travel, which is why I could study your planet directly, asterisk. Taewon's scientific curiosity piqued. How does your FTL drive work? That technology would revolutionize human space travel. Nari turned to face him, her expression suddenly serious. Asterisk, I cannot share such technology. My people believe each species must develop at their natural pace. Interference has, historically, led to problems, asterisk. Is that why you've been watching us instead of making contact? Nari's luminescence dimmed slightly. Asterisk, partially. We've observed Earth for over 3 centuries. Your rapid technological advancement is unusual, but your social development has not always kept pace. Wars, environmental damage, social inequality, these suggest a species still struggling with its own nature, asterisk. We're not perfect, Taewon admitted. But we're trying to be better. I see that in you, asterisk, Nari replied, her mental voice warming. Asterisk, you saved me without knowing what I was. That speaks well of humanity's potential, asterisk. Their moment was interrupted by alarmed voices from the corridor. Taewon quickly guided Nari into a maintenance alcove just as several security officers rushed past. Something's wrong, he whispered. We should get back to the lab. When they returned, they found Commander Hae-jin waiting with the government officials. Their expressions ranged from shock to anger. Dr. Park, the commander said stiffly, you removed the subject from containment without authorization. Nari needed to test the breathing apparatus in different environments, Taewon replied, trying to sound professional rather than defensive. One of the officials, a stern woman in a dark uniform, stepped forward. This isn't just about protocols, Doctor. We've received a transmission. Directed specifically at this station. Taewon felt a chill. What kind of transmission? It appears to be from her people, the commander said, nodding toward Nari. They're requesting information about their missing researcher. All eyes turned to Nari, who stood calmly beside Taewon. I should speak with them, asterisk, she communicated to Taewon alone. My absence has likely caused concern. Nari needs to respond to her people, Taewon translated. She can explain the situation. The officials exchanged nervous glances. And if her explanation brings an alien fleet to our doorstep, asked one. She was on a peaceful research mission, Taewon insisted. Her people have been observing humanity for centuries without hostility. After much debate, they agreed to allow Nari controlled access to the communication systems. With Taewon's help, she modified the station's transmitter to send a message that her people would understand. Later that night, when the officials had finally left them alone, Nari explained more about her people's customs. The Sabiol value knowledge above all else, asterisk, she told him as they sat in the now quiet lab. Asterisk, but we separate knowledge from emotional attachment. To study something objectively, one must remain detached, asterisk. Is that why you weren't supposed to make direct contact? Taewon asked. Nari's luminescence pulsed in a pattern he hadn't seen before. Asterisk, yes. But now that I have connected with you telepathically and through direct interaction, my research is no longer purely objective, asterisk. Is that a problem? For my people, yes. They will question my findings now. They may even recall me, asterisk. The thought of Nari leaving created an unexpected tightness in Taewon's chest. Would you want to go back? Instead of answering directly, Nari extended her four-fingered hand, palm up. Asterisk, may I show you something? Through touch telepathy, asterisk. Hesitantly, Taewon placed his hand in hers. The connection bloomed instantly, but this time it was more controlled. Nari shared images of her life before coming to Earth, her training as a researcher, the solitary nature of Sabiol work, the emphasis on logic and observation over connection. Then the images shifted to her experiences since the rescue, the wonder of direct communication with another species, the strange warmth of human kindness, and something else, a growing feeling that defied Sabiol categorization but felt distinctly like attachment. When the connection faded, Taewon looked at their joined hands, 5 human fingers interlaced with 4 alien ones. "I think we're both breaking the rules of our people," he said quietly. Nari's silver eyes met his. "Perhaps some rules need breaking." Outside the station, in the vast emptiness of space, a distant point of light changed course, growing gradually larger as it approached Earth's orbit. The news spread through the station like wildfire. Someone had leaked images of Nari to Earth's global network. Within hours, the entire planet knew about the blue-skinned alien visitor and her human rescuer. "This is a disaster," Commander Hae-jin said, pacing the conference room. 3 government officials sat at the table, their faces grim. On a large screen, news broadcasts from Earth showed crowds gathering outside space agencies worldwide, demanding information. Taewon stood at the window, watching Nari in the lab across the corridor. She was examining Earth broadcasts with intense curiosity, her silver eyes reflecting the changing images. "The public reaction is better than expected," one official noted. "More curiosity than fear." "For now," another countered. "But we have bigger concerns. The military has dispatched vessels to secure this station and the alien asset." Taewon turned sharply. "Nari isn't an asset. She's a person, a researcher like any of us." The commander gave him a warning look. "Dr. Park, your personal feelings are clouding your judgment. This is now a matter of planetary security." After the meeting, Taewon returned to the lab. Nari looked up as he entered, immediately sensing his distress through their telepathic connection. "They are afraid of me," she observed. "Not of you specifically," Taewon said, slumping into a chair. "Humans fear what they don't understand. And now Earth's military is coming to secure you." Nari's luminescence dimmed. "I must contact my people directly. The communication relay we used before was limited. The officials might not allow that." "I don't need their permission." Nari moved to a workbench where broken components from her ship were spread out. "My personal communicator can be repaired with materials from your lab." Taewon hesitated only briefly before nodding. "Tell me what you need." They worked together through the night, adapting Earth technology to repair the alien device. As they worked side by side, Nari explained more about her people. "The Sabiel believe in non-interference," she said, now speaking aloud through practice rather than relying solely on telepathy. "We observe, we learn, but we do not engage." "Until now," Taewon pointed out. Nari's 4 fingers delicately adjusted a microscopic component. "Yes. My situation has created complications." Something in her tone made Taewon pause. "What kind of complications?" "My people may see this accidental contact as contamination," she admitted, reverting to telepathy for more complex concepts. "Both of our species. They might decide humans need more time to develop before any official recognition." "And what about you? Will you be in trouble for making contact?" Nari was silent for a moment. "I have broken our highest protocol. But more concerning is, She stopped, her luminescence flickering in what Taewon now recognized as emotional distress. "More concerning is what?" he pressed gently. "The connection we have formed." She finally answered. "My people believe emotional attachment interferes with clear judgment. Scientists must remain objective. What I feel for you, The door slid open before she could finish, revealing Commander Hae-jin. "Dr. Park, what exactly are you doing?" she demanded, eyeing the dismantled equipment. "Helping Nari repair her communication device," Taewon replied, straightening. "She needs to contact her people before the military arrives." "That decision isn't yours to make," the commander said. "All communication with potential alien civilizations must go through proper channels." Nari stood, her slender form suddenly radiating a quiet dignity. "Commander," she said aloud, her accented speech surprising Hae-jin, "my people already know I am here. They monitor all their researchers. If I do not explain what has happened, they may misinterpret human intentions." The commander hesitated, clearly uncomfortable hearing the alien speak directly for the first time. And what exactly are human intentions from your perspective? Most humans I have encountered wish for peaceful exchange, Nari replied. But some see me as a resource to be controlled. My people will not accept that. Are you threatening us? The commander asked sharply. I am warning you, Nari corrected. The Sabiol avoid conflict, but they protect their own. The tension in the room was broken by an alert from the station's communication system. Commander to the bridge immediately. Multiple unidentified vessels detected entering the system. Taewon's heart sank. The military ships? The commander checked her tablet and paled. No. These are coming from deep space. Moving at impossible speeds. Nari's silver eyes widened. Asterisk, they are here. Much sooner than I expected, asterisk. As the commander rushed from the room, Taewon turned to Nari. Your people? She nodded. Asterisk, they must have detected my distress when my ship crashed. This changes everything, asterisk. Over the next few hours, the station fell into controlled chaos. Earth's military vessels arrived first, taking defensive positions around the station. 6 hours later, 3 Sabiol ships appeared at the edge of scanning range, sleek, crystalline vessels that seemed to bend light around them. Commander Haejin summoned Taewon to the bridge. Your alien friend won't speak to anyone else. We need her to communicate with those ships. When they returned to the lab, they found Nari standing perfectly still, her eyes unfocused. She's in telepathic communication with her people, Taewon explained. Nari blinked, returning to awareness. Asterisk, my ship commander is concerned. They detect weapons systems activated on your vessels, asterisk. Defensive precautions only, the commander insisted. Tell them we mean no harm. They are requesting my immediate return, asterisk, Nari said. They believe I am being held against my will. Taewon translated for the commander, who frowned. We're not holding her prisoner. She's free to leave. But when this message was conveyed to the Sabiol vessels, their response was unexpected. They don't believe you, asterisk, Nari reported. They say if I were truly free, I would have already returned to them. The situation deteriorated rapidly. The Sabiol ships moved closer, prompting Earth's vessels to raise shields. Military personnel arrived on the station, placing guards at key locations. That evening, Taewon found Nari in the observation lounge, watching the standoff between the ships. This is my fault, he said quietly. If I hadn't insisted on rescuing you, then I would be dead, Nari finished, touching his arm gently. The brief telepathic connection conveyed her sincerity. You saved my life, Taewon. Only to start an interspecies incident, he said bitterly. Nari's luminescence pulsed softly. My people don't understand humans. They see your emotions as a weakness, your attachments as flaws in logical thinking. And what do you see? Her silver eyes met his. I see strength in what they consider weakness. Your emotions drive you to care for others, even strangers from the stars. Their moment was interrupted when a senior military officer entered the lounge. Dr. Park, your presence is requested in command. The situation has escalated. In the command center, screens showed the Sabiol ships deploying smaller vessels. Commander Haejin looked grim. Their leader is demanding direct communication with Nari, alone. They don't trust our translations. That's reasonable, Taewon said. Let her speak with them. The government officials disagree, the commander replied. They believe Nari represents unprecedented scientific and technological intelligence. They're ordering her transfer to a secure Earth facility for further research. Taewon felt cold anger rising. You mean imprisonment and experimentation? I'm following orders, Doctor. Starting tomorrow, Nari will be transferred to Earth custody. When Taewon told Nari about the transfer order, her reaction surprised him. Rather than fear, she seemed resigned. This confirms what my people believe about humans, that beneath your curious exteriors lies a desire to control and dominate, asterisk. Not all of us, Taewon insisted. Many humans would oppose this decision if they knew. But they don't know, Nari pointed out. And now my people will respond with protective measures. What does that mean? Nari turned to face him directly. The Sabiol have technology that could disable this station and every human vessel nearby without harming anyone. They will take me back by force if necessary. That would be seen as an act of war, Taewon warned. And imprisoning me would not. For the first time, anger colored Nari's mental voice. Both our species are making dangerous assumptions about the other. Taewon paced the room, thinking rapidly. We need to show both sides they're wrong. Somehow we need to demonstrate that cooperation is possible. Nari watched him, her luminescence brightening slightly. You have an idea. Maybe, Taewon admitted. But it's risky. It involves your people's telepathic abilities and something humans are surprisingly good at, broadcasting our feelings to the world. He explained his plan, watching Nari's expression shift from doubt to consideration. It could fail, she warned. Or worse, it could confirm the Sabiol's worst fears about human unpredictability. Sometimes unpredictability is exactly what's needed, Taewon replied. Are you willing to try? Nari's four-fingered hand reached for his. For the first time in my life, I am making a decision based not entirely on logic. My people would say I have been contaminated by human emotions. And what would you say? Her luminescence brightened in the pattern he now recognized as her smile. I would say I have been enlightened by them. Outside, the Sabiol ships moved into formation as Earth's military vessels powered up weapons systems. The first interspecies confrontation in human history balanced on a knife's edge, with neither side understanding the other's true intentions. Morning light from Earth's distant sun cast long shadows across the station as Taewon made his way through nearly empty corridors. Most personnel had been evacuated to secure areas as tensions escalated between the human and Sabiol vessels. You understand this plan could end your career, Commander Haejin said as she walked beside him. Despite her official opposition to his idea, she had agreed to help after a long night of arguments. Some things matter more than careers, Taewon replied, checking the small device in his hand, a modified version of Nari's communicator integrated with the station's broadcasting system. They entered the communication center where Nari waited, her blue luminescence pulsing with nervous energy. The breathing apparatus around her neck hummed softly as it processed the station's atmosphere into something her system could handle. The military commander has given us 20 minutes before they begin boarding procedures, Haejin reported. After that, I cannot protect either of you. Nari nodded in understanding. Thank you for your assistance, Commander. Taewon connected the modified device to the main communication array. This will broadcast to both fleets simultaneously, as well as to Earth. If this works, everyone will see the truth at once. And if it doesn't? Haejin asked quietly. Taewon met her eyes. Then at least we tried something besides pointing weapons at each other. On the main screen, they could see the three Sabiol ships positioned in a triangular formation. Their crystalline hulls reflected sunlight in patterns that seemed almost deliberate, like a visual language. Surrounding the station in a wider perimeter, 8 Earth military vessels maintained defensive positions. Both sides are preparing for conflict, Nari observed. The Sabiol ships are generating energy fields that will neutralize your weapons. Your ships are targeting their propulsion systems. Taewon finished the final connections. Then we'd better hurry. The modified communicator hummed to life, its alien components glowing with the same blue luminescence as Nari's skin. She placed her four-fingered hands on 2 smooth surfaces that Taewon had integrated into the device. Remember, this will broadcast everything, he warned her. Not just words, but the telepathic impressions as well. Every ship, every monitor on Earth, will receive it. Nari's silver eyes met his. I understand. My people will see everything I have experienced, including emotions they consider inappropriate for a researcher. Are you ready? Instead of answering, Nari extended one hand toward him. We should do this together. The connection will be stronger. Taewon hesitated only briefly before placing his hand in hers. The familiar telepathic connection blossomed between them, but this time Nari deliberately deepened it, drawing him further into her consciousness than ever before. Now, she instructed. Taewon pressed the activation sequence with his free hand. The station lights dimmed momentarily as power flowed to the communication array. "This is Taewon Park of Earth's Horizon Deep Space Research Station," he began, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "With me is Nari of the Sabiol people. We are broadcasting to all ships and to Earth. What you are about to experience is more than words. For those receiving this transmission, you will feel what we have felt. You will know the truth of our situation." Nari closed her silver eyes and focused her telepathic abilities through the modified device. The technology amplified her natural abilities, sending not just thoughts but sensations and emotions across the communication channels. Every person receiving the transmission, human and Sabiol alike, suddenly experienced the crash through Nari's perspective, her fear as her ship failed, the pain of injury, and then the wonder of seeing humans come to her rescue despite the risk to themselves. The perspective shifted to Taewon's memories, the excitement of discovering Nari, his determination to save her life regardless of protocol, and the gradual growth of understanding between them. Layer by layer, their shared experiences unfolded for all to witness: the creation of the breathing apparatus, Nari's first steps outside her chamber, their late-night conversations about their respective worlds. Most importantly, both species felt the transformation that had occurred within Nari and Taewon. Humans experienced the Sabiol emphasis on logic and detachment, understanding for the first time how emotions could seem chaotic and dangerous to such a civilization. The Sabiol, in turn, felt the power of human empathy and how emotional connections could lead to selfless actions and creative solutions. When the transmission ended several minutes later, a profound silence fell across the communication center. Taewon and Nari remained connected, both physically and mentally, as they waited for responses. The first came from the lead Sabiol ship. A message appeared on the screen in precisely formatted text. "Your telepathic transmission has been received." The experience was unexpected. "Request direct communication with researcher NARI and human TAE-1. Almost simultaneously, a message arrived from Earth's military command. "Stand down all aggressive postures. First contact protocols now in effect. Diplomats en route. Dr. Park and the alien visitor are to remain on station pending arrival of diplomatic team." Commander Haejin read both messages and exhaled slowly. It worked. They're talking instead of shooting. The next 12 hours brought a flurry of activity. A small delegation from the Sabiol ships docked with the station, 3 tall, blue-skinned figures with the same silver eyes as Nari. They moved with precise, measured steps, their expressions carefully neutral as they studied the human environment. The lead delegate, who introduced himself as Junho, spoke directly into the minds of everyone present. Our examination of Nari's experiences raises many questions about human nature. Your species acts on emotion rather than logic, yet achieves results we would not predict. Earth's hastily assembled diplomatic team, having arrived from the nearest lunar base, responded with a mixture of caution and hope. "We hope this misunderstanding can become an opportunity for mutual learning," said the chief diplomat. Throughout the preliminary discussions, Taewon remained close to Nari, serving as a bridge between the two groups. When technical terms or cultural concepts created confusion, their telepathic connection allowed for clearer translation. "The Sabiol need to understand that human emotions aren't just chaotic impulses," Taewon explained to the Earth delegation during a brief recess. "They're essential to our decision-making and our ability to cooperate. And my people need to recognize that their detachment can become a limitation," Nari added, now speaking aloud with growing confidence. "Observation without engagement provides incomplete understanding." As evening approached, tensions remained but had transformed into something more productive, a careful curiosity on both sides. The Sabiol delegates requested permission to observe human interactions more directly, while Earth's representatives eagerly asked questions about Sabiol technology and culture. Taewon found Nari alone in the observation lounge later that night, watching a shuttle craft move between the station and the various ships. "Your plan succeeded better than I expected," she said as he joined her by the window. No weapons were fired. No lives were lost. Our plan, Taewon corrected. It wouldn't have worked without your willingness to share your experiences so openly. Nari's luminescence rippled in a pattern he hadn't seen before. My superior is concerned about my objectivity. He believes I have become too influenced by human thinking. And what do you believe? She turned to face him directly. I believe both our species have been observing the universe through limited perspectives. The Sabiol value knowledge but avoid emotional connection. Humans embrace emotional bonds but sometimes let them cloud judgment. Perhaps together, we can achieve greater understanding than either could alone. A soft alert chimed from Taewon's communicator. The message displayed was brief but significant. Joint Human Sabiol announcement scheduled for tomorrow. Your presence requested alongside Nari as first contact liaison team. Taewon showed the message to Nari. Looks like we've been volunteered for diplomatic duty. Are you prepared for such responsibility? She asked. Taewon looked out at the Sabiol ships, their crystalline structures now illuminated peacefully against the darkness of space. Earth glowed blue in the distance, its population still absorbing the reality of first contact. A week ago, I was analyzing space dust samples, he said with a small laugh. Now I'm helping establish relations with an advanced alien civilization. No, I'm not prepared, but perhaps that's why it might work. The Sabiol planned for centuries without making contact. We stumbled into it by accident and somehow avoided disaster. Nari's four-fingered hand found his. Sometimes the most significant discoveries come from unplanned encounters.